Today on Dr. Phil, Mom is a life coach, but can't control her own daughter.
That is enough. No, it isn't enough. Nothing enough with you.
Willow has pulled a knife on me, kicked a hole in the wall. I have called the cops over 27 times in the past year. I am afraid that she could potentially kill me.
Is this coming from pain, or is this coming from just a dark evil?
I don't know how to cope with it.
You're in over your head, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready to take care of you. You probably heard me say before that I'm what's called a mandated reporter, and sadly, there have been times on this program when I have been forced to warn parents that I was going to turn them in if they didn't straighten up their act. But today, I won't have to do that because Mom Marie has already called DCFS on herself over her 15-year-old daughter, Willow, and get this, she's a life coach. Marie says in the past year alone that she's called the police at least 25 times because she has no control over her daughter's rage. And she even had to get surgery after her daughter bent her finger back so far that it tore open a tendon. Now, Marie says she's tried everything and is now seriously considering placing Willow in foster care or for adoption. Take a look.
Willow screams and yells on a daily basis.
That is enough. No, it isn't enough. Nothing is enough with you.
Anything can trigger Willow.
I need to go talk to my friend now. What do you not understand about that? But no.
She will call me a filthy whore, a bitch. I'm her little puppy dog. I deserve to die.
You are fool.
Yes, I do, and
You don't follow it.
my rules are to keep you safe. Knock it off.
You're doing a job.
Her main purpose is to make everybody around her hurt. She has thrown weights at me.
Next is a 10-pounder.
No.
Or a 5.
Stop it now. About 6 months ago, Willow broke my thumb. Her reply was, "Serves you right, bitch, don't touch me." If I ask her to do dishes, she will look at me and say, "You're the slave, not me." Willow has pulled a knife on me, kicked a hole in the wall. She draws all over my walls. I have called the cops over 27 times in the past year.
I will call the cops as soon as you leave this house.
Do it.
I am afraid that she could potentially kill me. Willow takes up every second of my day. Things got so bad that I had to move my son out of the house. My son is staying with my parents. I called DCFS on myself to see what could be done. At this point, I am considering giving my daughter to the state because nothing is working for us. My goal is not to get rid of you.
No, I up everything. I just want to be happy. I just want to live with you. But I'm probably not going to be able to do that.
I have absolutely failed her.
Okay. Marie, as a life coach, what would you say to someone in your position?
I honestly, at this point, I don't know what I would say.
Would you say they're in over their head?
Yes, absolutely.
And you're in over your head, right?
Oh, absolutely. I've tried to get multiple resources. I've called multiple people, and I can't get it.
Well, you have had some help, but she knows how to sabotage that. In fact, she said that. I wrote it down. She said to you, "I'll just act crazy, and then they'll have you come get me."
Yep.
That's a quote directly from her. She knows. You put me somewhere, I'll just act crazy, they'll have you come get me. So she's smart. And let's get some ground rules here so we know where we are. Number one, I'm not here to throw you under the bus. You could take your own inventory from now till the cows come home. You can critique your own paper and give yourself a bad grade. But the question is, what do we do now? Is she a bully?
She is.
She bullies you.
Oh, yes.
She even takes your food away from you.
Yeah.
So I tell you could eat, bitch.
Yep, she actually threw some pizza crust at me last night.
Is she an evil child?
No.
Is this coming from pain, or is this coming from just a dark evil?
I would say it's coming from pain, anger, and just so much going on in her mind that she just can't process or doesn't want to process it. So her goal is, as she says, I'm going to keep coming at you until you feel like I do.
One thing we know about children when they have been molested, abused, raped, beaten, whatever it is, when they're very young, and they can't fight back, they can't stop, is they have a lot of rage that they push down and suppress. They're screaming inside, they want to lash out, but they can't, either because they're intimidated or physically controlled or whatever. That's all bubbling inside. And then when they get big enough, strong enough, old enough that they can vent that, then it comes out with a vengeance sometimes. It's not always the case, but sometimes that can happen. It can express in promiscuity, rage, all sorts of things. And the truth of the matter is she has been victimized at young ages, right?
Yes, she has.
And she couldn't do much about it.
No.
Does she feel like you failed to protect her?
She says it's my fault.
Because you weren't vigilant enough, or you didn't stand in the gap in some way? You didn't fend them off?
I left her alone. I should have known better. I shouldn't have trusted them.
Is she right? Did you fail her as a mother? Did you fail her as a protector?
At that time, no. Looking back, well, no, because at that time I couldn't.
Did you ultimately?
Yes. I immediately, that same basically hour, went through and was able to get something in place to get her back within 24 hours.
Yeah, so it wasn't like she came and told you and you said, I don't believe you, or no big deal, get over it. And that happens. I mean, I've had parents that, oh, you're just being hysterical, blah, blah, blah. That wasn't you.
No, I called the hotline as soon as she said something.
When you knew something, you responded immediately.
Yes.
You didn't stop it before it happened, but when you learned of it, you acted immediately.
Yes.
Decisively.
Yes.
And effectively.
Yes.
But it still happened.
Yes.
So what you did after the fact, and she's saying you should have prevented it.
Yes.
She says, where were you?
Yep.
Okay. In fact, she says, you raped me.
She has said that, yes.
That's one of the things she says in anger.
She says you were probably there.
Yeah. And when you said, I didn't rape you, she says, well, where were you? Where were you? You weren't there for me. You weren't there for me. So we do know where some of this rage comes from, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So this isn't a complete mystery.
No, and that's why we get to this point, because I understand where she's coming from. I feel guilty, so I have let a lot slide.
Yeah. Well, coming up, Marie says she's at her breaking point with her raging daughter, Willow, and even the police can't control her. So what does Willow have to say about all this? We're going to find out when we come back.
I have physically, verbally, and mentally abused my mom. I feel like I'm a lava boiling up.
What? I don't have to see your things ever again.
Tomorrow.
Since the start of the year, a staggering 34 million Americans quit their jobs.
Attention, shoppers, I quit.
I quit.
How do you feel about the way you quit?
It's a respectable thing when someone stands up for themselves.
From rage quitting
That video will haunt you in your career.
to rich quitting.
I went from making $31,000 to $1 million net worth by my 40th birthday.
The cause and effect of the Great Resignation.
That's tomorrow. Then on Friday,
I know you're not expecting us. Sorry to barge in.
Real solutions
What about him bugs you?
He just can never finish a chore.
to real problems.
She asked me to take the trash out, but she does not ask me to put it back.
For Dr. Phil's biggest fans.
Let me see if I got this right. He cooks, he cleans, he does the laundry. You just don't like the way he does it.
That's Friday. And on Monday, was their son wrongly convicted of murder?
Chris wrote you a letter explaining what took place.
The letter gave us the answers that we didn't know before.
That's Monday.
I honestly could not tell you how much money Willow has stolen from me over the years or what she has stolen from the stores over the years. I would keep my money in my bag and Willow will go in and she will steal it. When I ask her where she got the money, her reply is, "Oh, I took it from you." She has stolen often. If we go to a store, she's not supposed to leave my side because I cannot trust that she's not just going to pocket something because she wants to pocket it. It has happened hundreds of times. I mean, I kind of caught on to it and started hiding my money.
Marie says her home is filled with violence, and frankly, she says she's just afraid of her daughter. Here's what Willow has to say.
I have physically, verbally, and mentally abused my mom almost every day for the past 5 years. I feel like I'm a lava boiling up.
Wait, I don't have to see your things ever again.
When you get really angry and you're just like, I want to do something really bad or I want to punch something, that's the feeling I get. I feel powerless when someone says no. I pace around and I start screaming and punching. And if that doesn't help, I go to violence. Hitting, kicking, all that good stuff.
No.
And I hope I hurt them. And I'm like, you should rot in hell.
I have bruises all week from you. I'm not letting you beat on me and get away with it.
If you pissed me off to the point where I couldn't take it, I would probably have you in a headlock. And I wouldn't even know I'm doing it until it's over with. My brother is living at my grandparents' due to my aggression. Honestly, I couldn't care less. I don't really like him because he tells me to kill myself. I don't think my mom is happy with me at home. I do not mean to be mean to her. It's just she's the only person that is an easy target and is always there. I'm scared I'm gonna lose you for some reason because I'm a bitch and I push you away and I don't want to lose you. Because I can't get it through my head that I'm actually worth being loved. I think she's done with my I hope I get the help I need. Like, honestly, I'm done living like this.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm happy I'm getting help, so I'm good.
Yeah. I've watched a lot of videotape. I've read a lot about you, and you tend to vacillate between kind of being a really sad and lost soul that seems really lonely and really don't want to lose the one person in your life that stood by you every minute of every hour of every day, despite your abusive ways, to being a raging maniac that tears things up, attacks, and will say anything that is calculated to hurt. So who is the real Willow? Which are you?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you.
You kick holes in the wall, you attack, you throw things, you rage like a bull, right? What would you say if I told you that you're never weaker than when you're angry?
I'd agree with you.
Why?
It makes you feel like less of a person.
You said sometimes you don't even know what you do when you rage. Like it's blackout rage, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about that. How does this happen? How do you go from sitting here like you are now, where you're very conversational and you're able to think and communicate, to being so enraged that you're just in a blackout?
Well,
how does that progress? Do you see it coming?
Yeah, like I'll start pacing and like punching things. My hands are still sore. because I have been starting a new coping mechanism called punching.
What sets you off?
Probably the word no, my mother, and just people who piss me off.
What are you so angry about?
Well, for the word no, the reason why I'm angry is because I didn't get to say no, or I said no and I wasn't heard.
Who'd you say no to that didn't hear you?
I was assaulted.
Yes.
We talked about that before she ever got out here.
Yep.
Coming up, Marie's mom says that Marie acts more like a friend than a parent to Willow. We're going to meet her and talk about that next. And I want to talk very specifically about what you just said, which was there have been times when you said no and you didn't have the power to make it stick. You didn't have the power to stop what was going on. Yeah. And that leaves you with a lot of frustration inside. And we're going to talk about what that means when we come back.
My daughter's parenting has been very inconsistent. Marie got pregnant with Willow when she was 18. Marie is too passive. I do feel that Willow could get to the point of actually killing her.
People need to find the courage to speak out. You know, Marie is like a lot of parents that I hear from. She says she's tried everything when it comes to punishments, but her daughter Willow never listens. Now, Willow's grandmother, Tiffany, is also at a loss for how to deal with Willow's behavior, and at times, she even fears for her daughter Marie's life.
Willow is not a normal child whatsoever. Her emotions are very unpredictable.
Wait, bitch! Knock it off.
She is a very demanding child. I do feel that Willow could get to the point of actually killing her. Marie got pregnant with Willow when she was 18 and still living at home. That was very hard. Marie is too passive with Willow. In the beginning, Marie was very much the friend to her daughter. And then when Willow started getting more violent, Marie tried to start becoming the parent. I feel it was way too late. Both of them are very stubborn and bullheaded. My daughter's parenting has been very inconsistent. She definitely did not follow through with her punishments. At this stage, I do think this relationship is broken. I do think Willow has to be taken out of the home to get the relationship back to where it should be.
Tiffany, good to meet you.
You too, thanks.
I wonder when you talk about grounding and taking away phones and computers and all of these sort of things, are you punishing the behavior that's evident, or are you punishing the pain that underlies it? Would you want to punish the pain that underlies it, or would you want to heal the pain while you were at least suppressing the behavior?
I would rather heal the pain that the person's in.
Because the first answer that I got from Willow when I said, what is it that upsets you? Is like, no. I don't like to hear no. Well, what's your problem with no? Well, because I've said no in my life and nobody listened. I said no to someone that was molesting me. I said no to someone that was assaulting me sexually. And when you don't have power and you can't stop something, and then you get big enough, strong enough, loud enough that, by God, you can be heard, then you kind of want to vent that. I listened to an argument between these two. Let's listen to this argument.
That is enough.
No, it isn't enough. Nothing is enough with you.
I have bruises all week from you. I will protect myself. You will go to the hospital.
I know that Willow has met up with a number of men through social media and has had sex with them. I was pissed off that she went behind my back because it wasn't just a one-time thing. I explained that one of these times she's going to get kidnapped or sold into trafficking or even killed. And her response is always, good, it's better than living with your bitch ass.
Good! I don't have to see your things ever again!
2 years ago, she did meet up with one of the guys, and she was actually assaulted and raped.
I have a lot going on. Bitch, I've been raped 3 times.
I told you, I understand you have a lot going through. Not once do I tell you just stop and get over it. Not once. Willow does actually blame me for this incident.
You had me raped!
No, I didn't.
I was raped! Where were you? Where were you?
You were the one setting all the meetings up to meet strange, random guys. Why do you think you no longer can go on?
Okay, but like, the first time wasn't my fault.
I know.
And I blamed her for it because I didn't have them to blame for it. And I don't know how to cope with it.
Willow, look at me. You said the first time it wasn't your fault. The second time wasn't your fault either.
Yes, it was.
No, it was not. You are a child. That was a crime. You were raped, and the son of a bitch goes to jail. You were raped.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter. Did you make a bad choice? Yes, you made a bad choice. Children make bad choices. It was not your fault.
They keep taking advantage of me.
You know when that will stop? It will stop when you say, I love myself enough that I won't take high-risk behaviors. I love myself enough that I won't put myself in harm's way. I love myself enough that I will not allow people to use me to entertain themselves, to use my body as a playground, to use my life as a playground, to put myself in danger in order to get acceptance. And you have been hurt and you have been damaged, and you deserve for that to be healed and not judged. And I'm telling you, your behavior is outrageous and has to stop. But I'm telling you, the feelings you have about being violated are genuine, real, and you are entitled to those. I just want you to deal with them differently.
Okay. Can you help me with that? Like, explain to me how you can help.
Oh, I'm happy to do that. Coming up, Willow says she's been on medication as long as she can remember. How's that going for her? Well, we'll talk about that when we come back. Closed captioning provided by...
Since I was 13. No one has figured me out, and that's why I'm done with this, you know? Like, all I need to do is figure out what I need, not what you want me to get. I'm on like 20 pills right now. Sometimes they make me feel like I'm not really a human and I'm just like not worth it. I would love to get off medication.
Willow says she's changed pills too many times to count. Marie says that nothing works to calm Willow's rage. Marie's 12-year-old son says his mom does not care what Willow does anymore because she can't control her, and that Willow just scares him.
My sister could be really nice, and then all of a sudden she could be really mean, going crazy. She has slapped me before and punched me and kicked me. At times she will act like she's gonna throw a knife at me. She'll go, but not let go. I am staying at my grandma's because of how my sister is. I miss my mom at times. Now when I'm at my grandma's, I can actually get peace and quiet. There's no noises and fighting in the background. We are hoping that she can learn to be better and I can come back home for good.
Willow, this rage that you have is not situation specific to your mom. You basically vent this at anyone and everyone that loves you.
Yep.
Because they're
there. Like, they're there for me. What else am I supposed to do? I feel like...
handy.
Yeah.
You said, how can you help me? You know, that's already started. You just haven't necessarily labeled it yet, but here's some more. You need to understand your rage is justified. Do you get that survivors of violation, survivors of molestation, survivors of rape, survivors of these kinds of assaults experience a certain degree of violation where they just feel like, you know, something's been taken from me, something has been done to me, and I couldn't do anything about it, and that's not fair, and I'm mad about that, and I can't seem to get past that, and so I look for somebody to blame, somebody to hurt, somebody to vent. Look at your mother. Do you think for 1 second this woman would not do whatever it took to protect you if she knew it was coming?
Not a chance. She would do everything in her power. It's just like, come on, man. I want to have a childhood.
Even just last night, I think I'm falling for a guy that you've never even met. Don't even know. Like, so how do I...
Well, but don't you understand she's looking through a filter? And the filter she's looking through is so distorted because of her experiences. And if we don't heal the open wounds inside her about those events, then it's going to continue to distort reality for her. Right now, she's looking for validation, and what she's been taught that she has to offer is physical. You've got to be courageous enough to lean into this. You've got to be courageous enough to look at the things that you don't want to look at, or you're never going to get past them. And you do that in the safety of a controlled environment with someone that specializes in helping with that, because you can get past this. You have more power here than you realize. You just don't know how to use it yet, and I want to change that. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow.
Since the start of the year, a staggering 34 million Americans quit their jobs.
Attention, shoppers, I quit.
I quit.
How do you feel about the way you quit?
It's a respectable thing when someone stands up for themselves.
From rage quitting
That video will haunt you in your career.
to rich quitting.
I went from making $31,000 to $1 million net worth by my 40th birthday.
The cause and effect of the Great Resignation.
That's tomorrow. Then on Friday,
I know you're not expecting us. Sorry to barge in.
real solutions
What about him bugs you?
He just can never finish a chore.
to real problems.
She asked me to take the trash out, but she does not ask me to put it back.
For Dr. Phil's biggest fans.
Let me see if I got this right. He cooks, he cleans, he does the laundry. You just don't like the way he does it.
That's Friday. And on Monday, was their son wrongly convicted of murder?
Chris wrote you a letter explaining what took place.
The letter gave us the answers that we didn't know before.
That's Monday.
Willow's room is a disaster, and she rarely cleans it. She has to have the dog food in there because she has to have the dog in there. She has water bottles all over the place, food, clothing that she doesn't even wear, just everywhere. She has writing on her wall. When I ask Willow to do chores, such as cleaning her bedroom, sweeping the floor, doing dishes, her reply to me is, "Don't you remember? It's your house, your rules. Therefore, you're the slave, not me. Have fun."
Now, I'm adding someone to the conversation, my good friend and respected colleague, Dr. Charles Sophie. Now, he's a child and family psychiatrist. He's a member of the Dr. Phil Advisory Board. And I've asked him to come to discuss how this family can get a grasp on this situation and understand the best way to move forward. And the first thing, Dr. Sophie, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, the first thing I want to talk about are these medications.
Yes.
Because Willow's been on and still is prescribed a lot of medication.
Yeah.
What's your assessment of all of that?
The list is about this long. I saw it. And you can't medicate the pain that she's in. We have to deal with the pain that you're in. That's why the medicines are just giving you probably side effects. But it doesn't mean there couldn't be a genetic mental health disorder that we have to look at. But that would be what the medicine would be targeted for. But we don't know what we're treating, other than a lot of pain.
Yeah. There's not a pill you can take to change history. The history has to be dealt with. Right. That's what you have to decide. I'm going to buckle down and deal with this because I have an internal dialogue. I have a working memory of things that have happened to me that have changed the way I see the world. If you're going to choose to be healthy and happy and vibrant and alive, that takes work. If you want to choose to continue to be angry and entitled and bratty and violent, then that comes with a high price too.
There are times where she just comes at me or like when she's kicking the wall, doing stuff, I'll just stand there.
Right.
Because
but she needs you to protect her on any level that you can.
I don't know how to protect her at that point.
Well, in calm times and in good therapy, that's what you should be coming up with. A plan of how she needs to be protected, not how you think she needs to be protected.
Right.
She's a smart woman.
She is.
And she knows what she's doing. She'll tell you what she needs. But she has to trust that you're going to do it.
Right. And we have tried the therapy, and she just stops and says, I'll set it up.
Are you willing to open up?
I am, but I'm not.
What does that mean? Are you scared?
Yeah.
What are you scared of?
I'm scared of being made fun of because of how stupid I was.
But who's going to even know if you're in a private setting? It's you healing yourself.
I don't think I'll ever be healed.
I do have a plan here, and I'm going to talk very specifically to Willow about it when we come back. Summer is the season where most kids look forward to no school, lots of free time, and warm days to go out and play. But for many children, summer means a lot less to eat. During the school year, more than 22 million children receive free or reduced price meals, but that drops to less than 4 million in the summer. During the summer, the Feeding America network of food banks helps provide free meals to children who depend on them during the school year. Find out how you can help feed a child this summer by going to drphil.com, because summer is no fun when you're hungry.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means
Willow, look, a lot of this falls on you. And you've said you're at a point where before you'll let her commit a crime against you that she gets in serious trouble for, or you get seriously injured from, you would rather put her in foster care or put her up for adoption than have this whole thing go into a big meltdown. And Robin, myself, Dr. Sophie, all have worked in and work in the foster care system. Dr. Sophie is the former medical director for the Department of Child and Family Services in LA County, which is the largest agency of its kind in the United States. And he can tell you foster care is not where you want your children to be.
I don't want her to be, but that's what they tell me I'm going to have to do.
Well, let me tell you, it is a last resort.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Because
you're just, she'll feel abandoned again.
I'm abandoning my child with abandonment issues. How does that help?
Right.
You need to decide that there are some things about this that I might know after 45 years of being in this profession that you don't know after 15 years. You have what I refer to as a damaged personal truth. You know, we all have something we believe about ourselves. It's not our social mask. It's not what we put on to the world. It's what we really believe about ourselves privately when nobody's listening, nobody's watching. This is what we personally believe. And you just told me some things about your personal truth. You said, I can't get over this. That's what you believe, that you're broken and can't be fixed.
Exactly.
That's your personal truth. I'm broken and I can't be fixed.
Yeah, like my mom said, I called myself a broken toy.
That nobody wants to play with.
And I'm telling you, the problem with that is this. People generate the results in life they believe they deserve. She can't fix it for you, but she can support you. She can't fix it for you, but she can support you. Support you. We can help you guide this, but you have to be willing to lean into it, and you can only do that if you decide, I'm worth the work. I'm going to put the work in. You know, first off, I think you got to baseline this medication and find out if this medication is an impairment or an enhancement. And Dr. Sophie can help with that. He can help by doing some DNA to find out if, in fact, there are some genetic components here, and if there's the right match of medication to her biochemistry, because we're very minimalistic in our approach to this. And we need to find out if she needs to be on what she's on or if she needs to be on something she's not on. Let's dial that into her instead of just writing a prescription and throwing it at her. Let's figure that out, and then let's get her connected to the right kind of help that deals with survivors of this kind of trauma. And lean into it and create your own experience. You can do that if you're willing to do it. Are you?
Yes, I am.
Great. And I'm not saying it's going to be a success-only journey or that it's going to be easy, but you're worth it. Okay. Fair enough? Okay. All right, coming up, want to take your girls' night with your friends to a whole new level? We'll show you how next.
I'll be throwing it together when everyone arrives.
Well, I have a question for you. How important are your friends? I'm talking about your close friends, the ones you call with the good news, the bad news, or just chat about your day. I believe most people would say their friends are incredibly important in their lives. Now, whether it's sharing stories or just having fun together, friendships can be one of the great joys of life. Now, you're about to meet Heather, Jen, and Alicia, three good friends who get together as often as possible for what they call a girls' night in. Take a look.
It's a girls' night in.
Oh, I love girls' night where we could get together and I could just hang with my girls.
I love just being able to put on a little bit of makeup, put on some fancy clothes, and just hang out with the girls and relax. Ladies, what do you say that we escape a little bit and go on a mini vacation?
I am totally in as long as it's someplace far away and tropical.
Let's go to the Maldives.
Oh, great idea. That's a great idea.
Set up and take a trip.
Bingo Blitz is the best for friendly competition. It's so much fun.
Ready to bingo.
Oh, wait,
G49. Do you have it?
I don't have it.
I feel Bingo Blitz brings us closer together every time we play.
It is so much better playing with a person than by myself.
Oh, God! Oh, my God! Oh!
Bingo! No! We just love hanging out and having a great time.
Ready, I feel it coming. One more number.
We just can't get enough of this game.
That was bingo!
Yes! Oh, my gosh! I can't believe it!
Watching Heather, Jen, and Alicia enjoying each other's company is a great example of why Setting aside time with your friends is so important for your overall well-being. It gives you a sense of community, a sense of purpose. It also allows you to have unique experiences that you may take back to other relationships in your lives. Now, it's clear those ladies really enjoy being together and having fun playing on the Bingo Blitz app. Now, as they said, playing the game brings them closer. And I'm sure you could tell this isn't your classic game. The high-action, innovative features and unexpected surprises take bingo to a whole new and fun-filled level. You can play and chat in rooms with your friends and meet new people. Now, one of the coolest features is that you get to play in countries and cities all around the world. Heather, Jen, and Alicia just seem to be having a great time playing in the Maldives. So whether you want to have a little fun, competition with friends, or enjoy a relaxing break in your day, just go to the App Store or Google Play today and download Bingo Blitz for free. When you do, you'll get a special welcome bonus. Now, I don't know how long it's been since you played bingo, but it ain't what you remember it to be. I promise you, it is really a lot of fun. I'd like to thank all of my guests today, including Heather, Jen, and Alicia, for letting us in on their Girls' Night of Fun. If you're in the Los Angeles area or plan to be, join us here in our studio audience. Tickets are free, and it's easy to get them. Just go to drphil.com for all the details. Be sure to follow me on all social media platforms and join my Facebook page, created specially for superfans just like you. It's called Dr. Phil Fanatics. Now, that's P-H-A-N, because we have to be clever and spell it P-H because of my name is spelled with P-H. Get it? See? Get it, Green Apple Lady? Get it? Okay. You won't want to miss out on my weekly podcast, Fill in the Blanks, where I provide tools and techniques to spot a con artist and build a resilient child or navigate difficult relationships. You can find it right there. And check out Robin's podcast, I've Got a Secret with Robin McGraw. Whether you're looking for a secret to keeping your head up or the neuroscience secret of feeling good, Robin covers it all. Listen for free on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for being here.